Yeah, that's how I used to be that Taekwondo championship guy. That's how I used to conquer people. I would study people. I would go to your school, watch you fight the whole entire time, make notes, go home, decipher the code of how I wrote the notes because I wrote it in code. Then say, okay, this is how I'm going to beat the guy. I will go to your tournament, I'll go to your school, I'll go to wherever I need to go to, I'll take you out, then I'll go home. That's how I used to work. And I did this for years. So a lot of my oomph that you're hearing, a lot of that, everything about me comes from the past and how I used to just manipulate things in order to win, right? Only manipulate things when it comes to martial arts. When it comes to everything else, I'm a pretty cool, nice guy. Anyway, so I got this pin down here, and that's all he's doing with this magnetic north. Now, here's the thing. We're not even talking about this fist landing the punch. We're not even talking about that. So when he raises this up, this is to regain his structure back. If it just so happens this is a brick wall, so be it. I take that brick wall hit because he straightened me out and I just happen to fly back. You get what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with the punch actually landing. It's about recovery. This is actually part. Chun Q in this case with Tai-yun and all that, and I'm saying magnetic north is actually the first beginnings that you understand crap before you even touch BUG. What would happen if we learned recovery from Sununda and Chun Q first before ever touching BUG? We would be the most dangerous people on the planet because we would understand how to get back into Sununda Chun Q neutral versus BUG, because you know you're not supposed to do BUG forever, right? You're not gonna do this the whole fight. That's crap. It's all crap. So it's not for that. It's that eventually you are at this point, you way off. You know, you may deal with this opponent, cool. That may be the end of it, but there's an opponent right there sitting for you. And if you think you're just gonna bring this dude back and hook, no. There's more secrets to be told. I have a whole lot of them because I studied this system. So he's gonna do this to me 3 more times each arm. His whole goal is to straighten himself out. It has nothing to do with the true punch. Just to straighten himself out. That's gonna create magnetic north. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna start here. And I want y'all to be able to see it from this side. I want to tell y'all Will is doing a great job with this because he did not even know what I was going to do with this crap. I just threw this at him. He's working with it effectively. So, here we go. Good. If you saw that time, I put a little bit more pressure in my knees. I had a little bit more of a stoutness there. He still was able to bring me up. So
he puts a little more on from that last one.
So we're not playing when it comes to these stances. We're not playing when it comes to this skill. The idea is victory or victory. Either you learn or you won. So here. All right. I'm gonna put a little extra oomph into it, put a little extra seasoning into this sucker. Here we go. In that one, I didn't bring my feet in. but I put a touch of Ichi Kumyumai into it, bent my knees just a little bit more, and hardened my body just a tiny bit. Maybe about 2-3%. Did you feel it?
Yes.
So yeah, we don't play here. So that is Tai-yun. And that's the idea of magnetic north. So with all the other Wing Chun people, a lot of you just borrow off of who that guy? A lot of you just borrow off of David Peterson, and the only thing y'all know is knocking their hand off center, and that's all you know about Tai-yun. That's all you freaking know. You don't know what the details of it is. So I just gave a little tiny bit to you. Also, please understand that doesn't mean there wasn't a counter where you did not have to use Tai-yun, or you did not have to go magnetic north or whatever. There's many ways to deal with things. What my issue is, a lot of times, goes back to the old me. And he can tell you this for a natural fact that a lot of the stuff I teach, nothing's really changed. I still pretty much teach the same exact way as the first time he met me to now. But like those two things are true. Probably three things. One, if I know I need to change, I will. If I know I need to change, I will. And I will publicly say, you know what, there's a change going on because I realize my faults. That's one. Two, when I keep climbing the web ladder of Wing Chun, by the time you even get close to me, I've already graduated 10-20% higher because I'm constantly studying this. The day comes that if Will ever catches up to me in the same level, two things are true. Either one, I got lazy, or two, I'm dead. That's it. That's gonna be it. I don't know what 3 is. Maybe I didn't have a 3. But here we go. We're gonna go into something else when it comes to magnetic north. And I'm gonna explain what magnetic north is now. We're gonna give a clear definition of what this crap is. Magnetic north has a lot to do with mother core. Now y'all Wing Chun people are gonna get it. When y'all hear that, it's like, oh, why did I put this at the end? Because guess what? I know a lot of you ain't gonna make it to this point. I set it up. Yeah, if you're a beginner, you're not gonna get to this point. Y'all already done clicked off the dang video. If you're if you're in discipleship and mastery, you at least got to this point where it's like, oh, now that's why that works. Yes, mother core to mother core. That's my goal. If they'll say if you can control the head, you can control the whole body. Guess what? If you can control the hips, you can control the whole body too. That's a second head. Both of them are actually mother cores. So that's why if we're like this, if he just lift his arm up, straighten up his spine, but don't shift his hips. Okay? If he straightens up if he fixes his hips or whatever, but don't straighten his spine up, it ain't happening. Now, if he does it all together, get it? So that means when one of your students do that same technique I just said, same technique, and whatever, one is they want to be able to see you. 2, mother core. They have to get back to a point that they say, okay, either I'm going to control this situation or they're going to control me. How I'm going to deal with this, I need to get back to magnetic north. That's the goal. I have to get back to this point. That's what BG actually is. And that's why a lot of times he'll say, well, sometimes it's called standard compass. True. Because you have to get back to where? Home. You have to get back to home. That's how it works, you know. And it's not about, a lot of y'all Wing Chun people, when y'all think about head, sometimes y'all just think about going for the head or grabbing behind the head. Okay, I'm a big tall dude, right? I'm 6'3". How tall are you?
5'8".
5'8". He is the height I wanted to be. Because Bruce Lee is like 5'7.5", 5'8". So I was like, dang it, when I passed that point, I was so mad at myself, drinking too much milk. Anyway, but with even me, and I'm a tall dude, he has his hand out. And that may be a point I can't reach for his head. So why am I going to play head games? Not at this point. How do I get to that point of mother court? Guess what? If I just pay attention to what Wing Chun is telling me, then I got the head. Forget trying to reach. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can even do this. Like, I know I want Ray Tanaz to try this in his sparring. If there's a chance or a possibility, it's not about chasing hands, it's about control. If you've got sparring pants that's good enough to hold, you can go right here to control right here and be able to fight here. Now I can get here because I have that. You get what I'm saying? That's important. Sometimes you gotta know how to take the limbs to take the head. If you have the limbs and you got all this control, you can control the whole body. You don't need the head. That's what Wing Chun teaches you. You know, I want people to open their eyes and just wake up a little bit. Now, going back to Magnetic North. How you feel about it? Yeah, this some crazy stuff, ain't it? Boy.
Can't wait to practice.
When Will comes to the door, a lot of times he don't know what I'm teaching. Sometimes up until the point he gets to the door, I don't know how it's gonna pop off. I'm reminded of my Uncle Oscar. My Uncle Oscar would make notes of his ministry that he's gonna do on Sunday. He'll be in the pulpit, he's right there, and he balls it up, throws it in the trash, and he doesn't even preach on the one thing he was been writing off about the whole night. How do I know? Because I slept in his study. I'll be up with him when he's talking about what he's writing about, and then when it comes to that Sunday, he's not preaching what he wrote about. I'm the same kind of way. I'm exactly the same way. So, that was Magnetic North coming from here to here. That's true, because if I go from Tai-yun to here, I'm getting him off the angle. And I'm glad he put some more strength in that, because that just showed what can happen. It's not about the fist hitting the opponent half the time. It really ain't. Matter of fact, I love the fact that it happens because if you know about the Wing Chun Wooden Dummy, for example, there are points when people, they'll go like this and kick, or they may go like this and kick, right? If you do something like Tai-yun, and he's strong enough, and I don't get the punch off, but he's going off balance, then I can kick as he's going off. I even sell him even more than what his body's projecting. Which means this can be manipulated. And I love body manipulation. That's what martial arts is. It's not just being manipulative or to making someone block or strike the way you do. It's sometimes about the energy and how you manipulate it. So I'll give you an example. I'm gonna only do this 3 separate times because I need to see this. It can happen just the way it did, and I do this, right? Or I come from here and I decide to just put a little bit, but not so much. You see where you step there compared to the first time? So I can say in my mind, if I practice this with enough time and enough skill, you do it 1,000 times, not one time each day. Do this like James Brown. James Brown didn't quit, you don't either. So, if I have him only go so far in this point, and it just goes about this far. Let's say it's about this far. Bam! I got him. Because you're not going to always have a person that's going to sell off like that. The more resistance a mofo gives you, the better. Because then you'll know it doesn't always work that way. Now you have to go into something else like kicking or switching the stance off and manipulating the Chun Q side. Whatever you gotta do. So it's not just about, please do not think it's all about just selling people back all day. No, manipulate the entire thing. Because one thing about Tyease, if I die, and he was gonna say that my Wing Chun has one word, hold on, what does it say? Hopefully it didn't say something wrong. If he said my Wing Chun comes under one word and one word only, what would it be? Do you remember?
One word.
It's all about
not mastery.
Oh, it's not about mastery, no.
No.
You used to say it all the time, but now he ain't saying it. It's blocking out now. Control. If my Wing Chun does anything, it's all about control. Control is number one. I control the whole situation, control the whole area, control everything. Everything. I own it. Control. I know where you're about to go. I know how you're about to go. Control. If I just have to get hit in between that, that's cool. As long as I control the situation, you can win the battle, I'm going to win the war. That's basically it. So, last thing about this. Last thing touching. Okay, here we go. In other videos, and some of the videos you ain't seen because I ain't uploaded yet, I know it's gonna take some time in development. I talked about Jiao Sao. And a lot of times with Jiao Sao, sometimes it can be about controlling the weaker side to change. And I deal with this side. He has a good guard up. I felt that. That is smart. Anybody who feels that their weaker side is about to get attacked, you make it strong real quick, right? And that way you're not manipulated by the person. Great freaking job for doing that. Thank you, sir. Now, he did that on his own. I didn't teach him that. Smart. So, his Wing Chun is progressing. Now, here's where I want him to relax a little bit, because that little tense up part is where I want him to magnetic north. Okay? So, if he was taking my weaker side, take it. Right? And let's say he's going into that same point, especially like Gam Sao or anything else, because Jiao Sao is just that movement. It is not a technique within itself. Then I want to completely straighten myself up. You see what I'm getting at? Now, he did a smart thing by, once I did that, he grabbed and walked back, because he can maintain distance. If you know something about me, it's all about distance and timing as well. Control. Part of control is distance and timing. If I say control first, because distance and timing is already with it, I don't have to say distance and timing. So if you get what I'm saying, all I'm doing is that when I take this weaker side and it goes to this point, he automatically magnetic north straight out. Now watch. Now if he stays here, I'm gonna show you what just happened. I'm putting this arm down. I'm gonna put this arm forward, and you see what just happened. He has already struck me. He struck me with the weaker side that has now become magnetic north. is what I had in my brain.
Hampton Hong, bro.
Boy, dude, look.
Hampton Hong.
For those of you who need to know what my school is all about, I got a video for you. That Hampton Hong ain't no joke. This is what I bleed for. Hampton Hong. One almost 130 years worth of history, because there was no martial arts schools up in this United States. Excuse me, and I'm not the only one. I'm not trying to ego trip that, but I'm telling you, we're one of the main ones. We was already in Arkansas. Too bad it was Jim Crow era, or else we probably would have had a bunch of mix of great people up in one school. And Hampton Hong would have been #1 way back then. Anyway, so doing it on this side, I'm just going to show y'all that difference, okay? I'm actually taking that weaker side and I'm trying to control it myself. His duty to get back the control of himself is to straighten his tail up. And I'm there. It's there, right? Does that make sense? So he's gaining back his control. If you lose control, regain your control. That's what also BUG is all about. Now realize through this whole video, I didn't teach BUG this whole time. But when you're talking about BUG and using it, it's all about the recovery back to where? Sunum Dao Chum Q. We only use Chum Q and Sunum Dao skill. Do you know what the ultimate goal is of what I just did with this video?
Keep your warheads to simmer down.
Keep yourself to Sunum Dao and Chum Q. Don't be so quick to view G just because you want to show it off, or just because you want to see if it works. Don't be so quick to do that. The only time you do that is when you have more than 2 opponents, because Chum Q is already telling you that you can deal with 3 by yourself right there with that form. 3 opponents. When you have more than that, or if the opponent is so freaking magnanimous that you have no other choice but to use it, I get it. But don't go doing Ip Man Part 2 on some weak ass fool. I did say ass. Some weak ass fool that's because you want to feel like you want to be like Ip Man versus the boxer at the end. I'm sick of this crap. That's why all y'all losing right now. Even at 40 and all these health problems, I ain't losing like that. Excuse me. So he's gonna do it a couple of times where I'm going from here. I'm gonna take this weaker side. All he has to do is straighten himself out. That's it. Good. 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 And I almost tripped over myself. Right? No, outside. Better. Yeah, right. That time it's my fault.
Yeah,
And one of the reasons I'm still healing with my wrist right here, I have a hard job to do, so yeah, that wrist be hurting. That's better. One more time with that side, cause that wrist. Good. Magnetic north. Now, question, and be honest to everybody that's there. How much of that did it take of you to do that?
quite a fair bit. You know, it wasn't just I had to put some oomph in it. I had to really invest in. I had to get into the technique. I had to put some likeness into it. It wasn't just cakewalk.
No. And that's what Kung Fu means. Hard work achieving excellence. Hard work of what? Sometimes with these skills, it's about telling the truth on yourself. You gotta look in the mirror and say, yeah, I'm a lazy dog. I'm pretty lazy with my Kung Fu. Am I really putting my really good oomph into it? Am I just playing the role and just moving on? You have to be honest with yourself. You have to expose every flaw. Kung Fu will not work for you if you can't tell the truth on yourself. That's being honest. You have to expose every badness about yourself, because Kung Fu works for the honest. It works for the truthful. It works for those who wants to better themselves. It works for the people that want to turn away from anything that will stop them from the greatness of who they are. And there's one student, I hope, when I show this to them, I hope they get it. Sometimes you can't be a free bird. Sometimes you just can't do what the heck you want to do. I have sacrificed a lot for this skill, so much so that I'm not even living the kind of life that I want to live. But that's Kung Fu. So you have to eventually work on yourself, and you have to tell the truth on yourself. And in that case, Kung Fu will win. Sacrifice nothing for this style, or sacrifice nothing. Oh, wait. Let me rephrase that. There is nothing on this earth you cannot sacrifice for the empowerment or the betterment of this skill. That's what I'm trying to say.